Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Hi, Saskia. Can you hear me? Can I hear you?
I can hear you. Yeah. Hi.
Oh, my goodness. Look at you. Long time no see.
A long time.
Welcome to Shooting It Raw. I'm so happy you've agreed to join me. One thing that people on the podcast I have to describe is that when you smile and you have the crinkles in your eyes, the best face. Oh my goodness. Now that I see you again, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's you.
Oh,
welcome.
I know. Thank you.
Welcome.
It's also really good to see you again. But I also feel like this is strange if we haven't seen each other for 20 odd years. Shouldn't we have first a catch-up session to say, hi, how are you, da-da-da-da, and then be more professional?
What? No, this is Shooting It Raw. This is
it's raw.
This is just. Maybe this is crap. Maybe this is garbage. Maybe this won't fly. But I certainly enjoy having these conversations. And what I think is interesting is what happens between the lines. So,
always.
We'll start with the photographs, and then we'll just catch up. And because I said to you, send me 2 or 3 pictures that say something about where you are these days, what's interesting to you, and so you chose these 2 photos. And let me just describe what I see, and then we'll talk about it. So the one I'm using is called Cat's Hands, and it's black and white, but more sepia than cool black and white, kind of black and white-ish, sepia-ish. 2 hands, slightly wrinkled, but really lovely texture. Probably the hands of a 30, 40-year-old, a little bit worn, a few wrinkles, but not severe calluses. What's beautiful are these 4 petals, but one of them is more of a shard of something. And so what is this image, Saskia?
Okay, well, I'm not sure why I picked that, except that in part I just really love that image, and I love the moment that it came into being. Mm-hmm. So those are the hands of a dear friend and mentor of mine, Kathleen Harrison. She's an ethnobotanist teacher, brilliant teacher, out of California. And I was with her one day. We were walking on a little forest trail near her house in Northern California, and we started finding wings. I think they're moth wings. And there were just these many wings along the trail that maybe a bird had been dining on moths, or for some reason a bunch of moths had died. And so we started collecting wings, and at the same time I looked down and saw this piece of pottery that initially I thought was a wing, because it looked just like the other wings, but in fact it was a piece of pottery. And so I just remarked on that to her, isn't this, here's something so entirely different, but resonant. And she said, well, take a picture. So she just put the things in her hand so that I could take a picture of them. And then it was somehow a beautiful picture that captured this moment.
To me, it's like an image that you have in a collection of photographs. It is so still and quiet and ideal, but not really contrived. I don't know. It's very poetic. I can see why it resonates.
I think there's something too about something that is an image that is a reflection of what's happening in that moment. Some kind of beauty stands out to you, something in the world jumps out to me or to you, and we capture it. And that, well, for me, those are the pictures, my own pictures, that somehow feel the most alive. And I don't think I've ever taken a contrived photo. And when I have, if I have, a bunch of flowers in my house or something, and I'm bored and I think, I'm going to see how this is beautiful. I can make this beautiful. I'm going to find an angle and a way to make this beautiful. It's never it's never beautiful.
Right.
Like not really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the test, of course, which is maybe a bit embarrassing for me, is Facebook, is such an interesting litmus test of if an image is alive from that moment or not.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if there's something I genuinely think is beautiful and I put it on Facebook, it's like a magnet.
That's interesting. Yeah.
You know, whereas if there's something that I think is like, should be beautiful to others, like this, I could get away with this. No, you can't actually get away with it. I can't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like there's almost no response.
Because it's less genuine or less authentic, maybe.
There's just something, it doesn't sing. Like, I don't know what that is. And I'm not a photographer, right? I'm not.
What is a photographer?
Well, yeah, I mean, people who have dark rooms and studios and shows.
People have dark rooms?
And,
for example, one couple, you know, that I did a podcast with, they do snake photography, and their snake images are sublime. Like they're so perfect, and she's never ever used film. She doesn't even know what it is. It's purely digital. So
right. Well, do you know what's interesting actually is because if anything, I photograph plants, right? Flowers. Like I photograph plants. And oddly, I sent you 2 images that in my mind, I mean, even though there's a tree in one of them and the other has an ethnobotanist in it, but those images are not overtly about that which I love to photograph the most. And in a way, that which like I'd be willing to talk about.
Right. Well, hold on. Well, you just opened the door. So why do you photograph plants? Like why is that a thing in your life?
Because they're so incredibly beautiful. Like they're so incredibly beautiful, and
I love your face.
Well, they are. And
I believe you.
They're largely invisible. At the pace that most of us, you know, move at these days, they're largely out of people's realm of necessity, even though obviously we can't live without them, but most people live in cities these days, and most people do not have hands-on relationships with plants. I think you can safely say, except for I know gardening is like a national pastime, but generally speaking.
But is this something that you do for work? Like is connected to your, I don't even know what you do for like, I just picked up that you're in Costa Rica.
Yep.
Okay, so talk about that. Like, what
do
you do in
for work?
What do you do with your time in Costa Rica? Taking pictures of plants.
Oh man, I do. I take pictures of plants. I have actually. I'm leading like not even a double life, but maybe a triple life at least. But I am leading at least I'm leading a triple life, I would say. So the Costa Rican life. I'm here living and working at what in pre-COVID and perhaps post-COVID days is a residential healing center.
Okay.
For people to come and learn about new, you know, different ways of working with their minds and their thoughts to come to peace and be happier in their lives generally. Wow. So, yeah, people come from all over the world and basically develop self-awareness and awareness around habitual thought patterns, especially emotional reactions to things in life that, you know, lead us going in these circles, as we all probably find that we do, or getting into the same ruts in every relationship over and over and over again. Change the person, it's the same relationship. Why? You know, I'm the common denominator. What's going on with me? Right. That kind of thing. So yeah, so I'm here on and off, I guess, for the last year or two, and as a therapist, as a counselor, and helping to run the center and helping to think about the organization and how it works.
No, so I had no idea. Look at that.
Well, neither did I. That's like top secret. Like I don't usually tell people that I do that.
Oh, because okay.
It's sort of not like, it's not on my CV, you know, but actually I have been doing that, and I've been doing one-on-one sessions with people online, and I love it. Like I do actually love it, but I'm learning how to love it. I'm learning how to come to terms with it because it doesn't fit my image of myself.
Okay.
Exactly.
What is your image of yourself then?
Well, one of the other lives I have is I'm currently working on a PhD, and I'm
Oh wow.
in the field of ethnobotany. So I'm between botany and anthropology,
Oh my,
and
wow. Wow.
studying how people think about plants, perceive plants, use plants,
Oh wow.
different cultural perspectives, and also historically. Actually, I've discovered history. I never realized why. Something about getting older, I think, where history suddenly becomes relevant. Like by age 40, you realize it's
People
not
came
all
before us.
people. Yeah, and patterns. Again, it's similar to the psychotherapy thing in that it's all about discerning the repetition of patterns or shifting in patterns
Right.
and habits across generations. So I'm doing that, and then the other life really is I still just love making art and writing and
Right.
being
Yeah,
and
because
walking and being a human being and
right.
contemplating life.
Right. Yeah, in my mind,
Yeah,
that's kind of what you represent. This
yeah,
inquisitive, exploratory, artistic, creative, thoughtful,
yeah.
scientific. Yeah, like that's the bundle of Saskia in my mind. That's so still the same, but
Me too. Well, me too. It's just that how do you make a living doing that exactly? I know that one can,
yeah.
but it's like you have to find people and
Well, so far
networks.
so good. You're in Costa Rica doing. So how has the past 2 or 3 months been?
Really brilliant and really odd
Mm-hmm.
and really intense.
Mm-hmm.
So I arrived here on the day that the borders closed
Oh wow.
because my partner lives here too and works here. And
Okay.
it was starting, I was in Bermuda, and it was starting to look like, we might not see each other for a long time
Oh wow.
unless I made a move. And
Right.
also I wanted I love it. Like I lived here in my teens, not at the center, but in Costa Rica for a few years in my teens. And I love this country and I've spent a lot of time here. So yeah, so there were 9 of us here for a period of 3 months
Mm-hmm.
straight.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because I think COVID is really interesting because it's really forced people to become all of a sudden very self-reflective and very because in a sense basically you're contained and your life is more contained, and so people now are becoming a lot more self-conscious in a not self-conscious in a sort of embarrassed sense, but
self-aware.
self-aware. Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. And I mean, it's not brilliant if you can't afford it. I know
Mm-hmm.
financially for a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people it's rough, but from that perspective, reckoning with your values,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, interesting.
like reckoning with your lifestyle.
From the photo of the petals and the shard of pottery in the hands, let's move to the next image, which you titled what did you title? You titled "The Road Up." So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.